Getting laid off didn't just mess with my career, it wrecked our finances. Hey friend, it's Xavier, your job search cheerleader, and your favorite marketing girly. Today's video is a little bit different, a little more personal, because if you've ever been laid off or lost income overnight, you know the panic hits way deeper than just your job. When I lost mine, it didn't just shake my confidence, it blew up our budget. And to be all the way real, we're still rebuilding. And today, I want to share the real steps that we're taking to bounce back. So if you're navigating layoffs, rejection, burnout, or just trying to get back on track, please take a second to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos here every week to help you move forward. All right, so let's get into it. So let me paint the picture for you. Before all of this layoff stuff, life was pretty comfortable. And of course, bills come with stress, but we weren't missing any meals or any bill payments or anything like that. And we were a 2-income household, right? And honestly, we felt secure. My job combined with my husband's income wasn't just covering the basics for us, it was covering our bills, our savings goals, and handling all of those everyday expenses. We were actually in the process of building something. We were planning for the future, right? Vacations, school tuition, random house needs. Then in a single moment, my income vanished overnight. And like most layoffs, it wasn't a gradual fade. It was quick, like snatching a plug out of a socket. And immediately for us, everything shifted. Even though I got a 3-month severance package, which softened the blow and bought us a little bit of time, it was crystal clear that the rules of our financial game had completely changed. We had to hit pause on those ambitious savings goals. The dream of that summer family trip, we had to put that on ice. We had to cut back on fun. Things that once felt like small luxuries now felt kind of extravagant and somewhat out of reach. No more random dinners out, fewer weekend activities that weren't free. And worst of all, we had to face this one question: how long can we actually make this work? The cost of everyday needs like our gas, our groceries, our mortgage felt heavier all of a sudden. And each swipe of that debit card and each bill that came brought on a new wave of guilt, stress, and fear. And toward the end of my job search journey, we unfortunately had to start using credit cards for certain expenses. And personally, I felt like I was letting my family down, like a rug had been snatched from under our feet. And I want to be real with you. Right? This experience wasn't just about the numbers on a spreadsheet or the dollars in our bank account. It was also about the emotional load that it put on us. You're constantly telling yourself, be optimistic. Trouble don't last always, especially when you have a kid or kids to take care of. You gotta fake it till you make it, right? We felt this pressure to carry on like normal, to kind of shield our worries from our family and friends, and not cast our worries on others. But like I said, deep down inside, I felt like I was letting my family down. I was questioning my own worth, my capabilities. It's one of those feelings where your professional identity suddenly disappears. And even though I was interviewing like crazy, every week that passed without a job offer felt a little hellish. So my husband and I put our heads together because we knew that we had to shift from panic mode to plan mode, because keeping our sanity was key to survival. So here's what we started to do to fight back. All right, let's talk about the money. Right now, we're being very strategic about the financial steps that we're taking to get ourselves back on our feet, including me creating a very fancy budget sheet. First of all, we did an audit on all of our expenses. We printed out 3 months worth of bank statements, pulled up credit card bills and statements, and went through every single transaction with a fine-tooth comb. We wanted to see exactly where every single dollar was going, even the small ones. It was eye-opening and honestly a little embarrassing to see some of the unnecessary spending that we were doing. But this was needed, okay? Then we cut out the extras. Some of those streaming subscriptions that we had, gone. Stopped getting my hair done at the hair salon. I cut out getting my nails and toes done professionally and started doing it myself. Those impulse buys at the grocery store or online, done, out the window. And we know this isn't a permanent goodbye to the things that we enjoy, but a much needed pause for now. We took time to identify like our wants versus our needs, and those wants went on hold for now. Then we started to really prioritize our essentials. We really narrowed down our focus on non-negotiables: mortgage, food, like the kind that's actually good for you, transportation to interviews and to work, childcare and insurance. Everything else became secondary. And this made our financial decisions much easier. And this also gave us a clear boundary for what we were going to be spending our money on. We also communicate as a team, right? We talked about what we spent and what we spent it on, what bills were coming up, and any financial anxieties that we had. Because talking about these types of things builds trust in your relationship and makes sure that we're both on the same page. Because nobody has time for financial stress in a marriage, okay? And lastly, we tapped into specific resources. And I'm not talking about using credit cards, right? Not unless you absolutely have to. But as soon as I got laid off, I applied for unemployment like immediately because every little bit helps. I also started attending re-employment workshops that were available through my state for job search tips and insight into other opportunities. And for a hot second, we even looked into working part-time jobs in the event that things got a little dicey and it took me longer to find employment than it actually did. Okay, so now that we talked about our money game plan, let's talk about mentality for a second and what's going to make a difference going forward. We treated this particular circumstance like a season and not a life sentence. If you're going through something similar, you got to keep reminding yourself that this period isn't forever, right? For us, we know that this is a temporary challenge, a chapter in our story, not our whole book. This outlook can help prevent you from falling apart, and it can help you see the light at the end of the tunnel. We also reminded ourselves that budgeting isn't punishment, it's actually a power. Now, don't feel like you got to completely deprive yourself. It's simply about taking control, being proactive, and making smart decisions. For us, it transformed itself from a chore to actually a tool for empowerment. And lastly, we stopped comparing our journey to others. It's so easy to scroll through social media, right? And see everyone else's perfect lives and they're spending money on whatever and traveling all over the world. I think you gotta make a conscious decision to stop making comparisons. Your journey is your own, right? And focusing on what others may have or what they're doing, honestly, does nothing for you. Personally, we took a step back to focus on our own path and our progress. And eventually, after 4 months on the job search grind, I landed a new job. And even though that's a win, our budget didn't just bounce back to where it was before, but it's on the way to being better than it was before. And why is that? Because we're being intentional with every single dollar that we spend. We're also more aligned on our financial goals and more grateful for every single blessing that we have. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? This season taught us some really hard money lessons, okay? So friend, if you're facing a layoff or financial stress right now, just know this, all right? You are not alone. Okay? And be confident that this season will not last forever. Be kind to yourself, make a plan, and ask for help. And if you want to see how I used AI to help me land a job faster, check out the toolkit and freebie linked in the description below. Drop a comment below if you've ever had to recover from a financial setback, or if you're in it now and you just need a little bit of encouragement. You got this, friend. See you in the next one. Bye.